General Formella.
Good afternoon, counselors. It's been good to spend the entire day with you.
I wish I could say this is really never forget.
For the record, John Formella, Attorney General. I am incredibly happy to be here to support Ann Edwards' nomination to the Superior Court. I want to start with one thing, and by saying this, I'm going to channel my inner Ann Edwards, because I know she'd like to say what I'm about to say, but she's the nominee, so she can. There was a remark made earlier about one of our attorneys, Nick Chau. It was a disparaging remark, and I feel compelled to correct the record. Nick is a great member of our office. He's a great attorney. He did a great job under challenging circumstances with elections during the 2020 election cycle. He's now in the criminal bureau doing homicide cases. That's what he's always wanted to do. He got the opportunity to move there, and he's just an incredible member of our office, and I feel the need to say that. If there's one thing that sums up Ann Edwards, it would be this. Everything she's heard today, I am 100% confident that that would be the thing she would most have wanted to respond to. Out of everything else she's heard, even though she's here with her dream on the line, she would have wanted to respond to that. So I feel like that is a great way to begin my testimony in support of Ann. There are a number of things that make a good judge. I think it's necessary to be a great lawyer, but I've said this before, I don't think it's sufficient. But Ann is a great lawyer. She has incredible experience. She's done just about everything you can do in the office, and you've already heard that, so I'm not going to want to recount it. But Ann absolutely ticks off the experience box. But I don't think all great lawyers make great judges. There are some things I think that judges have to have that I think Ann has that I just wanted to go through quickly. The first is, I think, having great empathy, which will make you a great mentor. Ann is an incredible mentor. We've heard a little bit of that today, but one of the biggest things we're going to lose if she's confirmed is her ability to mentor younger lawyers in the office. There might be times when I'm looking for Ann, and I don't know where she is, and it turns out just on a whim, she went with someone to a hearing, because maybe it's the first hearing they're attending. She just wants to go, make sure they're comfortable, and because of that, she'll be working late that night. That's Ann Edwards. She's unique in that. So she's a great mentor. Ann is incredibly honest and ethical. And I don't mean, well, I do mean honest in that she tells the truth, right? Honest as we all should be. But perhaps more than anyone else that I know, you know when Ann tells you something, it's absolutely what she thinks. Sometimes to her detriment, I would say. But she is 100% honest. She is not afraid to speak up. She'll be the only one in the room who says that she disagrees with something or she thinks what we're doing is a terrible idea. And she'll say, I'm going to do it anyway because it's my job and I'm going to do the best I can at it, but I think this is a terrible idea. Ann is honest. I think a judge needs to be honest. A judge needs to be willing to make the tough decision if it's the right decision under the law, even if it's not a popular decision. So she's intellectually honest. Ann is incredibly hardworking. I talked about that a little bit when I talked about how good of a mentor she is, but she is incredibly hardworking. She's always available. She's always thinking about what needs to be done. And like many public service jobs, I think being a judge is really a 24/7 job, because even when you're not hearing cases, you've got very important issues to people that are pending. If you're doing that job right, they should always be on your mind, quite frankly. I know you need work-life balance, but to be a great public servant, to be a great judge, you need to be very, very, very hardworking. It has to be a different level of hardworking. That's Ann Edwards. And then really the most important piece of Ann Edwards that I think will make her a great judge and that truly sets her apart is she is utterly fearless and selfless. She has been willing to take on the most difficult issues the office has faced during her time at the Attorney General's office. She does that without thinking about what that might mean for her future. She's wanted to be a judge for a long time. Councilor Kenny noted how many times she's applied. But she is fearless, she's selfless, she's a true selfless public servant, and she's the one in the office, who the office has always been able to rely on to take on the hardest issues, the most controversial issues, the issues that will make it into the press. And I actually think it's good that there's been so much talk about the Wyndham audit here today, because that is a perfect example. The office took on the Wyndham audit at the very beginning of my time in the office. So that was my first, I would say, big responsibility, is to work with Ann Edwards to make sure that we handled that process right. And we took it seriously. Ann took it completely seriously. And this was an issue, frankly, that a lot of people would not have wanted to have, would have not have wanted to work on. It's important, but it's hard. It's high profile. It's difficult. It could result in a day like this if you ever get nominated to be a judge. But Ann didn't think anything about that. She charged in. We would talk. We'd have long conversations at the end of the day, almost every day during that audit. I can tell you she took it deadly seriously. She knew how important it was. We've heard some talk today about her having to come in the middle of the night to turn on camera that had gone down. I cannot emphasize enough how much that night sums up Ann's dedication both to that effort and to her role at the Attorney General's office. It was the middle of the night. We wanted to have a camera on 24/7. It goes down. She wakes up in the middle of the night in Milford, New Hampshire, and drives up to Concord to make sure that camera got back on. She knew how important that was. Drives in the middle of the night. I didn't even know she had done this until the next morning. So I told her, if that ever happens again, we need to talk about whether we need to get her a place to stay at Concord, so she's not driving around all hours of the night. But I think that symbolizes her dedication to transparency, her dedication to doing a good job on something very hard, her dedication to doing the right thing, and her selflessness. And that will make her a great judge. It will make her an incredible judge. The last thing I want to say is this. And go back to Councilor Kenny noting how many times she's applied. I'm incredibly grateful that I got to have Ann Edwards in the office for 2 years of my time there, but I'm just going to say, I think this, for her, is overdue. I think it's way overdue. And it would be a huge loss for the Attorney General's office. There are multiple people here I know today from the office who have to agree with me, but it will be the judiciary's game. So congratulations, Chief Justice McDonald. If Ann Edwards gets confirmed, it will be your game. It will be our loss. But Ann is so deserving of this. She would be an amazing judge. It's overdue, and I very much hope he's confirmed.
Councilman James, for a question.
She could have declined requests, but she did not. She stepped up on some of the most challenging matters.
Absolutely, and not only would she never decline a request, she would volunteer for the office. It would be hard to keep her